So folks, seen something last night, again, flicking through YouTube, and I seen something that I'd never ever seen before. If you get the chance, if you're a horse racing fan, it's worth watching, it really is. Problem is, it's from 1987. The sound is really poor. The picture quality isn't good either, but the sound is really poor. It was something called Picture This. I think it aired on BBC Two, and I think I read it was by a little independent filmmaker who took a series of half-hour films and had them premiered on BBC Two about different people from within the entertainment or sporting industry. And this one was about the great Harry Findlay. Those that follow sport, especially follow horse racing, will know him. Many won't like him. I think he's very Marmite, is Harry. I've said one time in the past in here, I once met him. I say met him, I had lunch with him and Harry paid. I hope to return the favour one day, I really do. The message after this one will give some an insight into what I'm looking at doing. So maybe, just maybe, someone visiting this channel may be able to help me, but that'll come after this message. But yeah, I watched it with Harry. I met Harry about a few months ago now, probably a year ago, maybe more. Time flies. I was asking him to do me a favour and help me with a problem. He tried to. He introduced me to a friend of his who was hopefully going to get something off the ground that I'd come up with, but he never did. The friend of his wasn't as keen as Harry was, and the friend of his wasn't happy with the fact that I would earn money from the thing I wanted to get on the ground without doing much of the work, although all the work had already been done in here, and it would have been a money maker. But unfortunately, this guy didn't see it the same way. But that's fine. That's how things work in life, unfortunately. And at least Harry was good enough to meet me, and then good enough to make the initial contact on my behalf, and I'm forever grateful. But Harry Findlay, love him. Many don't like him. I love him because he's outspoken, because he says it as he sees it, and because whatever he says, he's honest. He's just honest, decent and genuine. For those that don't know him, he's a massive, massive, massive punter, and I mean massive, probably one of the greatest Great Britain's ever seen, or one of the biggest Great Britain's ever seen. He's won numerous fortunes. He's lost them all. I think he's in front again now, but not in the way he was in the past. He's not got the kind of money he had, I don't believe. He's had a long-suffering wife, but I mean that in the nicest possible way. She's been with him through thick and thin. There's been a lot of thin, but there's also been a lot of thick. I believe she's a wonderful woman. He's got a kiddie who I believe he's great, who he idolises. And anyway, as I say, I just love the guy. He told me a few stories when we met. We had probably an hour and a half together. He had other things on and other meetings planned. I wish we could have had a day and a half, and I could have spoken to him in depth. There was loads I'd want to ask him. I've read his autobiography. For those that haven't, that love sport and want a good read, read it. It's one of the best things I've ever read. And I mean, one of the best things I've ever read. It was absolutely fantastic. But no, Harry's done it all in his time, and he's unrepentant completely. He's won a lot of money, he's lost a lot, but he's enjoyed it. And to that end, I'm going to tell you the quick story from Picture This, for those that are still with me, because I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really good. I think it was done in 87, so I think at the time he'd have been about 27, 28 years of age. By that time, he's already with his wife. I don't know if they married at the time or they were to get married, but he's with her at that stage. And he's saying, I think he said, I had a big win at Lingfield or Kempton. I think he said, I might have that wrong. And I think with the win he had at Lingfield or Kempton, they went away to Australia. As I say, I might have that wrong. He might have already had the bulk of the money and won a bit more that night. And only a day or two later, after being at Kempton or wherever it may be, or Lingfield, they go to Australia. And he said, I go there with 37 grand. Now bear in mind, this is 1987. It was filmed, so it must be 85, 86. It's a long, long time ago. 37 grand now isn't to be sniffed at. 30 odd years ago, now I'm 40 years ago, it's a hell of a lot of money. He said, so I go over there, and in the first couple of nights I'm over there, I'm playing in the casino, and I win 4 grand, which is, I think he said, $7,000 in Australian money. If it's dollars, I think it's dollars. He said, so with me 37, I'm on 41 grand. So I've got 41 grand. He said, do you know what? We had 3 weeks over there. We did absolutely everything. Unbelievable. We went to race tracks, dog tracks, this, that. We got helicopters to him, helicopters back, ate in the very best restaurants, stayed in the very best hotels. He said, and after 3 weeks there, I got back into England. He said, you know what I'd left out the 41 grand? Absolutely nothing. I came back with nothing, but I always knew I could start again and I could win. He said, and the wife, although the odd time she doubted me and the odd time we struggled, she always knew I could as well, and that's what I've always done up until now. It had been about 27, 28, I say, when it was filmed. But he said, and I thought this was really good, he said, the thing is this, he said, all these people that'll laugh at me and say, or pull the face and say, why would you spend all that money and come back and have no money left and have a house to run and a wife or girlfriend or whatever's at the stage to look after? He said, they don't get it. Big punters who win big money don't get it. They're always, well, I'll put it away, I'll use it for something. He said, they put it away. He said, and what happens is, in punting, you'd have a week, a fortnight, a month, 3 months where you can't buy a winner and you're struggling. It just happens. It happens with me. He said, I have big wins, but I have massive peaks, but massive droughts. He said, troughs, that's what I have. He said, if I come back with that 37 grand, if I go on a losing run, I'm going to punt it all away, and all of a sudden that 37 grand is going to be nothing. He said, that's not how I do it. When I win big, I spend big and I enjoy it. He said, and I really, really enjoy it. He said, and the thing is, a year after I won all of that, I might have very little money left. And many people with very little money will be down and depressed and they'll think to themselves, God, I've got nothing, I've had no luck in life, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'll be thinking, well, I've not got anything at the moment, but that 3 weeks we spent in Australia last year, how good was that? Who else do we know that's done that other than us? Didn't we have a fantastic time? He said, and that's how I do it. I win big, I spend big, I enjoy my money. He said, I lose a lot to the bookies for all I win a lot. He said, but when I win a lot, I don't give it straight back. I go out and I enjoy it. And it's been my motto. And that was 87, folks. He's done it ever since. And I thought to myself, well, that's brilliant. I know somebody that's got over 300 grand in a pension fund. He's in his late 60s, early 70s now. Recently had massive heart problems, could have died, still with us. I know somebody else that's probably in his late 50s with a big pension fund of, say, 60 odd grand. Got health issues within the family, still working. Don't want to give up work. Could do, could afford it, no problem. Mortgage paid and all that, got 300 grand there. But, well, I think I've got 5 years to go. I don't want to lose that 5 years' money. And how long might my pension last? Well, I'll tell you now, it might only last a year or two. It might not even last till you're 65. You might die before you're 65. If you've got it and you can afford to retire, retire or do a day or two a week. Enjoy your life. Do what Harry did. If you've got it, spend it and enjoy it. You can't take it with you. You can have all the money in the world. But when you did, you did. You're gone. That was Scottish, I think. I did it badly. When you're dead, you're gone. So if you're not going to enjoy it all, at least enjoy some of it. Get something out of what you've earned before you pop your clogs. And as I say, Harry, well done you. You're never going to see this, but you just might. But whether or not you do. Number one, I love you. I think the world of you. Thank you very much for that lunch. Thank you for the introduction, for all it went south, but I'm going to get off the ground with somebody else, which will be part of my next message around 15 minutes' time for anyone that wants to watch it. And that's it. And I thought it was a cracking show. It was only half an hour long, folks. But if you're a racing fan or a gambling fan, honestly, watch it. I'd never seen it before, but it was 87 on BBC Two. You'll find it on YouTube. I'm sure it was called Picture This. If you type Harry Findlay into the search bar there and go through everything he's done, you'll have to keep going right. You'll find it in the end. Okay?